It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 Dick, 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 go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Okay, go back here to Mike, and we'll come back in the middle, and then over to Nate.
Yeah, Mike Harris, AP again. Kyle, you have a unique perspective on what Joey Logano is going to face, having come into the series, pretty young and like him. What do you think the biggest hurdles are going to be for him to overcome as he gets into Cup and gets into such a good ride?
Well, I think all the pressure that people wanted to put on him for his nationwide debut, he did real well with. And all the pressure that everybody wants to put on him for his getting into a good Cup ride, is he'll have to do a good job of that too. I think it's just the probably the amount of exposure, with the amount of media, with the amount of sponsor appearances, with the amount of all that stuff. So hopefully Joe Gibbs Racing will take it easy on him a little bit at least, and Home Depot won't wear him out too quick. But I think the biggest thing is just trying to let the kid come into the sport and get used to everything before throwing him into it and just making him do too many off-the-wall things too quick.
Hi, Kyle. Tim Dutton from the Press Enterprise. All the attention on you and Carl this year. Jimmy is kind of, two-time defending champion, maybe kind of laying back there. Are you guys looking at him as kind of laying in the weeds or anything like that, or are you worried about how he's kind of improved lately and how he's going to be a factor in the chase?
I've always been worried about Jimmy Johnson. I take him as being probably the best driver on the circuit. So you never know what he can come up with during a race, or what him and Chad can come up with in their cars to make it fast. And so we know that Junior's been ultimately consistent all year long. He's kind of fallen behind the past few weeks, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, he can get right back going to where he was, running top 5s, top 10s every week. And then, Jimmy, he's going to be a guy that you're going to have to worry about. Even the 31 car, those guys had a strong run in the beginning part of the year. I think so many top 15 finishes. I mean, that's what it's going to take to win the chase. So you just never know who's going to come up or what's going to come up and what kind of scenarios, who can go on a winning tangent or whatnot. So, there's everybody out there you've got to worry about.
Nate Ryan, USA Today. Kyle, following up on Logano a little bit, next year that now gives a lineup of an 18-year-old, a 23-year-old, yourself, and Denny Hamlin being 27. I guess one, do you or Denny step forward to take the role of mentoring him even despite your age? And two, does that even matter? Have you and Denny talked about who's going to be the leader of this team next year? Have you thought about how that dynamic will be to have so much youth in that lineup?
No, I hadn't thought about it much. I mean, I think you just work with whoever your teammate is to work with them to try to make each of you better. And, I think Joey will have a lot for us to learn. I think we can teach Joey some things, probably more off the track than on the track, because he's been doing a lot of the testing for the Gibbs stuff so far this year. So I think he's got a good sense of the car and what he needs to learn in order to how to drive it and stuff. So I think he'll be good. Denny and I being leaders of the team or being Joey's mentor, the only thing we can do is try to help Joey as much as we can. If he comes up to us and asks us questions, I'm going to answer him truthfully and tell him what things that he should know or try to learn and try to work on while he's at a particular event, or even maybe what dumb stuff he's done that I can try to help him out with and give him some insight on, because I've got plenty of knowledge on that.
Reed
Spencer with Sporting News. Back to something you said earlier, Kyle. When after the race last week, in explaining what he did, Carl sort of came up with his own version of the golden rule of racing, where he asked himself whether you would have done the same thing to him, and his answer to that was yes. When you were talking earlier about respect and Jeff Burton, does that mean that you would not have done the same thing to him?
That's kind of the reason why I didn't go back and play payback right away. I could have very easily just drove off into turn 3 and doored him right in the left side quarter panel or something and spun him out. I didn't do that. I tried to race him clean. I tried to get back by him, and I got bogged down a little bit by Denny, who got alongside me, and we raced for a little bit and never laid a tire mark on him and got back by him, and then just was too late to try to run down Carl. And so, I would have certainly liked to have tried to not touch him. I certainly would have liked and would rather have not hit Dale Jr. at Richmond. And it's just, people always say that all I'm doing is out there running into people and knock them out of the way, but I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm telling you, I'm not out there to try to move anybody. I mean, if I was a superstar at being able to move people out of the way, I would have dumped Junior and being able to win the race. I didn't win the race, so I look like an idiot.
Does it spur you on to have somebody like this that kind of lights a fire under you, if he has? I mean, it seems like you really enjoy proving people wrong from your past, and if anybody's going to step up and try to challenge you, does this motivate you even further? I know you're already motivated, but does this give you an extra edge at all?
Not really, because then you try too hard and you end up taking yourself out or somebody else out with you. So the only thing I ever do when I get to the racetrack is work as hard as I can to try to make my race cars be the best they can, make sure they turn, to make sure they leave the corners, and to make them as fast as I can. So if I'm the fastest car out there by the end of the day and I get to win the race, then that's the gratifying satisfaction of being able to win the race. But otherwise, you don't have the car of that day, you don't have the car of that weekend or whatever, then you take what you can get.
Any further questions? We'll go to Jim.
Have I talked to Carl since Bristol? No, I haven't.
Further questions? Kyle, thank you. Good luck
All
this
right.
weekend.
Yep.